were used to target the terror camps. Two locations in Bahawalpur wiped out in the precision strikes. They were the headquarters and major strongholds of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. The three services jointly carried out the operation and mobilization of assets and troops. India's actions have been focused and precise. They have been measured, responsible and designed to be non-escalatory in nature. This is a precision strike, viewers, carried out by India. They have carefully selected the targets. They have attacked only terror camps, terror bases. They have not attacked civilian strongholds. They have not attacked even military installations inside Pakistan. This was a direct attack on terror and a terror factory inside Pakistan. That's what India has done. Carefully calibrated, measured, non-escalatory in nature. This strike has come hours before 244 districts across the country were preparing for a civil defense mock drill today. Now, Pakistan was absolutely taken by surprise. They were rattled, and Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has admitted that there has been action in India. Now, let us take a close look at these visuals. These are visuals from inside Pakistan. We had done surgical strikes earlier in Balakot and so on inside POK, but those were videos of the strike. But these are videos of the immediate aftermath of the attacks. Now, what we know is that these are the visuals. Oh, we can see the orange glow at a distance. There were people on the streets. They were absolutely shocked. See, that is the fireball emerging into the sky after the bomb hit the targets. These are the visuals that Indian agencies and media houses, security agencies have accessed from inside Pakistan, some of them from Pakistani social media handles. So these are definite proof. Pakistanis are known to be asking for proof, but this time they have acknowledged. None other than their rattled Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has gone on record to acknowledge. Now we are getting to know that from the Indian side, even the suicide kamikaze drones have been used to target these 9 terror hubs inside Pakistan belonging to 3 groups: Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen. These are the 3 terrorist groups in Pakistan that have been killing people all across the region. They have been they're launching a proxy war in India, handled by the Pakistanis, handled by the Pakistan Army, Pakistan ISI and so on. Now, all flights have been diverted. Flight operations, some of Indian airports, particularly those close to the India-Pakistan border in Jammu, Dharamshala, all these air bases have been, operations have been suspended. Pakistan has completely cleared their own airspace. Now, this is what the nation was waiting for, a definitive strike by India on the terror factory and the terror sponsors and the terror handlers inside Pakistan. And that is what exactly Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Team India has delivered on Pakistan before the crack of dawn this morning. I am joined by Group Captain Mohanto Panging, a former Indian Air Force pilot, an ace pilot of the Indian Air Force, who commanded several squadrons in the past. Group Captain Panging, this is what the people of India wanted. This is what the government of India delivered. What are your first impressions on Operation Sindur and the way it was carried out? Nobody had a clue. The Pakistanis were themselves alert, but despite their alertness, we have carried out, the Indian defense establishment, defense forces have carried out 9 precision strikes with lethal precision, and 80 terrorists are reported killed.
Today is a momentous day for Bharat, and let me start by congratulating the 1.4 billion Bharatiyas, the national leadership under Prime Minister Modi, the 3 leadership of the armed forces of India, and I congratulate you also, Wasbir, and all of us for avenging what happened in Pahalgam.
Thank you, thank you.
Der aaye par durust aaye. Now, by today's strike at 1:44 a.m. as mentioned by you, We have avenged Pahalgaon to a certain extent. We have hit 9 of their targets. And what is unique about this attack is that 4 of these targets are outside Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now, I have been saying from the word go, because I was commanding a squadron in 2008 when the Mumbai terror attacks took place, and Azmal Kasab incident, if you all recall.
Yes.
So during that time also similar plans were made by all of us, and I knew, and I've been saying this, that we can do it tonight, tomorrow night, anytime we choose. And before they know what is happening, we would have hit them. And what is very unique is that places like Bhavalpur, places like Muridke, it has always been known that Muridke is the headquarters of the JEM, the Jaish-e-Mohammed. It is located just around 25 kilometers from our border, across the Amritsar sector. So it was waiting to be hit, and they have been hit meticulously, precisely. Even the statement issued by the official Indian government is also a very mature statement. Like you mentioned, it is non-escalatory. Military targets have not been used. Only terrorist launch pad and headquarters have been hit. So it was due coming, and it was very good that finally it has been avenged. And of course, we as a nation, there is a bit of camouflage and concealment also, in the sense that you mentioned it, that a mock drill was announced for today. And people would have expected that things might happen after the mock drill. But I think we have done it right by fooling them and by carrying it out yesterday night. So congratulations to all 1.4 billion Bhartiyas.
Absolutely. Let me also tell my viewers that India utilized a suite of high precision long range strike weapons in the operation, that is Operation Sindur. Among those were the Scalp cruise missiles, the Hammer precision bomb, and loitering ammunitions. The Scalp missile, also known as the Storm Shadow, is a long-range air-launched cruise missile with a range exceeding 250 kilometers and designed for deep strike capabilities. Hammer, or the highly agile modular munition extended range start bomb, was actually used to strike hardened infrastructure such as reinforced bunkers and multi-story buildings used as training and logistical centers by LET and Jaish-e-Mohammed. The Hammer is a precision guided standoff munition capable of striking targets at ranges of 50 to 70 kilometers depending on launch altitude. Now again, coming to the loitering munition, it's also known as kamikaze drones. These are loitering munitions were deployed for surveillance, target acquisition, and terminal strike roles. These drone systems hover over target areas and either autonomously or under remote control identify and eliminate threats. Now, Group Captain Panging, these kind of precision munition, precision military hardware used were seen when the United States, when America attacked, the Taliban, when they were looking for Osama bin Laden, when they were fighting in Iraq. We saw this kind of precision bombs being used. They infiltrated reinforced bunkers. They could infiltrate. They could pierce through highly and reinforced concrete buildings and so on.
Absolutely, the weapons mentioned by you is very right. The Storm Shadow or the Scalp, as you name it, and also the Hammer missiles. We have also nowadays a lot of TV guided munitions. We have laser guided munitions. We have got GPS guided munitions, and all these are called precision guided munitions, which have got a CEP, we call it the circular error probable, of less than a meter. And today is the time where we can put, we call it the bomb in the bucket. So we can target a precise window of a precise building. And the capability, the reach of these missiles and these weapons are such that I don't have to cross the border. The range is like that I can fire it from inside the border and yet turn around, yet keep guiding the missile, and yet keep collecting data. So if you see at the Bhavalpur is located just around 90 kilometers from the border. So we don't have to cross the border at all. Whereas Muridke is just around 20-25 kilometers from the border. So these are the kinds of weapons we have been always waiting to use. The weapons are always available. The platforms are always available. the pilots, the soldiers, the seamen were always available. We are waiting for strong leadership. So
Absolutely.
we were always, India was assumed as a soft state and incapable of taking harsh decisions and incapable of hitting back. And the leadership has changed now. And what was missing link? Strong leadership has come, and these actions are being taken because weapons are always available, platforms are always available, pilots, soldiers, and seamen are always available. But the decision was leadership
Absolutely.
was missing. Now that is available.
That is the key. That is the key. We had the capabilities in the past as well, but the decisive leadership was missing. And now that we have a decisive leadership in Team Modi in India, this is possible. This has been made possible. We have done it in the past under the Prime Ministership of Narendra Modi in that surgical strike in Balakot, and we have done it for the second time. Now, I'm joined by Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita, the former Army Commander of the Army's Eastern Command. He commanded one of the very important crucial Eastern Command until recently. General Kalita, this was the moment that the nation has been waiting for. A nation wanted India to avenge the death of 26 unarmed civilian tourists in Pahalgam, and Operation Sindur has been launched at a crack of dawn last night. Now, the code name of this operation could not have been more apt, because these terrorists, these cowards who killed the 26 men, they have widowed 26 women, including newly married women, some of them belonging to the defense forces. What is your first reaction to Operation Sindur that had rattled Pakistan, took the whole country by surprise, because they thought India will be busy in this civil defense mock drill, when they were caught absolutely unawares, despite their claim that they had kept their air force and everybody on high alert?
Firstly, Wasbir, thank you for including me in this discussion. And I would firstly like to compliment and congratulate our entire nation, as also the Indian Armed Forces, for this timely retribution for the dastardly act which was carried out by the terrorist on 22nd April. Like you have said, it has been appropriately named as Operation Sindur, more so because the innocent terrorists were segregated based on religion, and then they were killed in front of their wives and children. So to that, I think it's a excellent messaging that you mess with us, will mess with you also, and much more harder. And the second thing, what I would like to say is, like on the next day itself, on 23rd April, if you remember, Prime Minister Modi in Bihar, he had made a mention that we'll target these terrorists and their backers to the end of the earth. And that is what has manifested on ground in this precision strike in 9 camps. Earlier, all our responses, whether in Uri or in Balakot, were restricted to the Pak-occupied Kashmir. But this time, the scope has been enhanced. But at the same time, and we have also reached onto their heartland in Punjab, where some of the camps, major camps, have been targeted. So the intent and the capability of the nation and the armed forces has been appropriately demonstrated not only to the Pakistanis but also to the whole world, that this is a new India, it is a resurgent India which is capable of taking a strong and resolute measures in national interest. So that is something which has been appropriately and aptly conveyed. And as far as this particular strike is concerned, without getting into the details, but 4 camps have been targeted in Punjab, which is main heartland Pakistan, and 5 camps have been targeted in Pak-occupied Kashmir. And out of these 9 camps, as I know, 4 are of Jaish-e-Mohammed camps. There are 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba camps and 2 Hizbul Mujahideen camps, which also includes the main headquarter of the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur and the main headquarter of Lashkar-e-Taiba in Muridke. So this targeting, Bahawalpur is about 100 kilometers from the international border. So it signifies the capability of standoff attack which we have evolved or developed over the years. So my congratulations again to entire nation and the armed forces for proving to the nation and to the world that this is a resurgent India.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break and I come back after this, continue our discussion. We have got two very eminent panelists with us at this mind, Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalida, former Army Commander of the Eastern Command, and Group Captain Mount Panging. I will also be joined on this program by other defense analysts in a short while from now. Coming back after this very, very short break.
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार, पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर।
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था।
किसी काम का नहीं निकला।
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है, इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट, कमाल का काम, टाइगर है नाम।
AI Parijat, AI Nikki, and AI Bholuka are coming to your doorstep.
Ramdhenu AI Show with AI Parijat starts 10th May, 7 p.m. Repeats every day.
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই, পিলাৰটো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে।
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা সিমেন্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো।
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহল।
সিমেন্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হলে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে, সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা সিমেন্ট। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্টৰ সুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্ট, কমাল কা কাম, টাইগাৰ হে নাম।
সাজু হওক এআই পৃথিৱীত বিচৰণ কৰিবলৈ আৰু ৰোমাঞ্চিত হ'বলৈ। ৰামধেনুৱে লৈ আহিছে আপোনালোকৰ নতুন এআই হোষ্ট এআই পাৰিজাত।
নমস্কাৰ অসম, মই আপোনালোকৰ এআই হোষ্ট পাৰিজাত। মই লৈ আহিছোঁ অসমৰ প্ৰথমটো এআই শ্ব' ৰামধেনু এআই শ্ব' উইথ পাৰিজাত। এটা মেছেজ আহিছে মালিগাঁৱৰ পৰা, লিখিছে প্ৰিয়াই। পাৰিজাত, তোমাৰ এআই লুকটো বিৰাট ধুনীয়া দেই। তুমি ডেন্স কৰিব পাৰানে? তুমি বেটাৰী খোৱা নে ভাত খোৱা? I don't eat batteries or food. I run on your compliments. What's more difficult, dialogue या diet?
Diet. First ever AI show.
Okay, now, you know, General Kalita, coming back to you, I'm coming to you, Group Captain Panging. हमने कहा था कि घूस के मारेंगे, घूस का मारना चाहिए, घूस के मारेंगे, हमने घूस के मारा. So that demonstrates a lot, isn't it? That says a lot. The message is loud and clear, because none other than the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has admitted, and as we are getting multiple reports that 24 missiles, kamikaze drones, all this assortment of weapons including scalp and hammer were used in these precision strikes. General Saab.
No, of course, like I mentioned in my opening remarks, that it is a capability demonstration as well, instead of, in addition to the intent that has been conveyed, as also the retributory measures that the whole nation was asking for. So we have proved that whatever was stated by our political leadership in various, after the 22nd April dastardly attack, that has been proved on ground, and it took us some time, the armed forces and as a nation, to plan out in detail and do it at the time and place of our own choosing, and with with a possibility of maximizing the output. So that is extremely important. It is not only worthwhile to carry out some retributory measures, it is important to carry out measures which will yield positive results, which is there for the world to see. So this is what has been demonstrated by this attack on 9 particular camps. And all, what is more important is only the terrorist camps have been hit, because the target was the terrorist, and it has been stated over and over again that terrorism in any form cannot be tolerated, and will hit back at the terrorist. So in all these 9 are established terrorist camp. While going there, no Pakistan military establishment has been hit during this attack.
Yes.
Nor any civilian infrastructure has been hit. It was purely targeted at terrorist infrastructure, which are housing their leadership and their cadres, and were also used as training areas. So these are the things, I think, which are important for all of us to take note of.
Okay, we have got some reactions now. China has reacted to India's attack on terror dens in Pakistan. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has regretted the attack inside Pakistan territory. So as suspected, as expected, China is backing Pakistan. Group Captain Panging, as we speak, there is preparations in Tawang district, Bomdila, and such other areas for a mock drill, mock civil defense drill. Now, are you surprised at Pakistan's reaction? It's unexpected lines, isn't it? China regretting that India has attacked inside Pakistani territory.
No, it is unexpected lines that China is regretting the attack, because it's a signal being sent by India today that we are no longer a soft state. We are going to take action, and this is a signal to nearby countries also, some of which have been making very anti-India statements, including the present leadership near to us. And there is some retired general also who has given a statement like that. So it's a signal to them also that we are no longer the Indias of the 1960s and 70s and 80s. We are no longer a soft state. We are capable of taking harsh decisions. And like I told you earlier, that this planning the mock drill today and carrying out the attack yesterday night itself was a concealment maneuver that was carried out very well maneuvered from the center at New Delhi. So regarding this mock exercise also, like I've been saying, this mock drill, there's so much of gap between wars that somehow many of us have forgotten our duties and responsibilities towards the defense of the nation. So this mock drill itself was a required thing to be done, because in most of our towns and villages, we don't have sirens to sound the alarm against any air raid.
Right.
So now the civil administration is being activated to carry out. I have a simple answer to all this, that we must have strategic thought in most of the actions that you take, including infrastructure. Even the political leadership has to be aware of the strategic requirements of infrastructure and other things. Everything you plan, there has to be something related to defense. For example, the metro. You can see what is going on in the Ukraine war.
Right.
That in case of an air raid, most of the people are underground in the metro.
We will
planning.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
These are necessary.
If we are planning a metro for Guwahati,
I will stop you for a moment, Group Captain. We have some more breaking news coming in. The Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of External Affairs will hold a joint press conference on Operation Sindur at 10:30 a.m. So all eyes on that crucial briefing, where a lot of details are likely to be given out. In the meantime, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in a post on X has said that the world must show zero tolerance for terrorism. The world must show zero tolerance for terrorism. That is the message that External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has sent out some time ago following the Operation Sindur. Now, very quickly, before coming to you, General Kalita, let's listen into some voices of the family members of those who lost their loved ones during that cowardly Pahalgam attack on the 22nd of April.
ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि जो उन्होंने मोदी साहब ने बदला लिया है, और मैं उनके साथ हूँ, जनता उनके साथ है, और हमारा सारा परिवार उनके साथ है। मैं वो सेना के जवानों को यही मैसेज देना चाहती हूँ कि आगे बढ़ते रहो और ऐसे ही बदला लेते रहो कि ऐसी कोई घटना दोबारा न घटे। उनको मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना ऐसे ही देना चाहिए।
भारत सरकार ने जो ये कदम उठाया है, ये बिल्कुल सही किया है, और उनके 9 ठिकानों पर आज जो एक कड़ा प्रहार किया है, इसको वो सदैव उनके जहन में गूंजता रहेगा ये, और वो ऐसा करने की कायरतापूर्ण काम करने की, ऐसी हरकतें करने की भविष्य में सोचने से पहले 100 बार सोचेंगे।
पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ उसके लिए मैं उनका आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ, क्योंकि उन्होंने पाकिस्तान को ये दिखा के दिया कि हम भी चुप बैठने वालों में से नहीं हैं। हमारे जो मिडिल क्लास लोग हैं उन पर उन्होंने अटैक किया। आज अभी तक तो वो 26/11 का था, उस वक्त भी उन्होंने ऐसे ही सामान्य लोगों पर अटैक किया था, तभी भी कोई ये नहीं हुआ था। पर अभी अभी तो मोदी जी ने उनको ये लेसन दिया है कि अभी हम चुप नहीं बैठने वाले।
हमें ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बारे में न्यूज़ चैनल से मतलब हमारे परिवार वालों के कॉल आए हमें, और तब पता चला कि भारत ने जो पहलगाम में हमला हुआ था उसके ऊपर आज उन्होंने रिएक्शन मतलब उनको उत्तर दिया है इसके बदले में एयर स्ट्राइक करके। पहले तो मिशन का नाम सुन के हम लोगों को बहुत मतलब मैं तो बहुत रो रही थी सुन के, क्योंकि मुझे याद है जिस दिन अमित शाह जी आए थे श्रीनगर, जो लोग वीर मरण जिनको प्राप्त हुआ उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए, उस दिन सब बहनें उनको बोल रही थी कि हम भारत की बहनें हैं, हम आपकी बहनें, और हम लोगों से हमारे पतियों को छीन लिया है। तो मुझे लगता है शायद उसी वजह से ये ऑपरेशन का नाम सिंदूर रखा गया होगा कि जो हमारी सरकार है जो हर स्त्री को बहन बोलता है, तो उनके पतियों को छीना गया था, तो उनका सिंदूर छीना गया था, शायद इसी की वजह से उन्होंने वो नाम रखा होगा। ये नाम पढ़ के तो हम बहुत
We'll go to General Kalita. General Kalita, very emotional statements by the family members of those killed. Actually, only they know, and these are the people, along with the 140 crore Indians, 1.4 billion Indians, who would have wanted some kind of a response from like this, and they have got it. Emotional.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been, we have been seeing such emotional appeals from the relatives of the deceased, the people who were murdered, killed in a dastardly act on 22nd April. And like Mr. Jagdal's, late Jagdal's daughter had brought out, the Honorable Home Minister had assured that suitable action would be taken against those murderer terrorists. So it's a very emotional thing, and
okay. Okay. We'll fix that audio with we'll take a quick break. We'll fix that audio with General Kalita and come back after this very short commercial break.
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार, पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर।
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था,
किसी काम का नहीं निकला।
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है, इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट, कमाल का काम, टाइगर है नाम।
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই, পিলাৰতো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে।
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা সিমেন্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো,
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহল।
সিমেন্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হলে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে, সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা সিমেন্ট। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্টৰ সুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্ট, কমাল কা কাম, টাইগাৰ হে নাম।
সাজু হওক এআই পৃথিৱীত বিচৰণ কৰিবলৈ আৰু ৰোমাঞ্চিত হ'বলৈ। ৰামধেনুৱে লৈ আহিছে আপোনালোকৰ নতুন এআই হোষ্ট এআই পাৰিজাত।
নমস্কাৰ অসম, মই আপোনালোকৰ এআই হোষ্ট পাৰিজাত। মই লৈ আহিছোঁ অসমৰ প্ৰথমটো এআই শ্ব' ৰামধেনু এআই শ্ব' উইথ পাৰিজাত। এটা মেছেজ আহিছে মালিগাঁৱৰ পৰা, লিখিছে প্ৰিয়াই। পাৰিজাত, তোমাৰ এআই লুকটো বিৰাট ধুনীয়া দেই। তুমি ডেন্স কৰিব পাৰানে?
তুমি বেটাৰী খোৱা নে ভাত খোৱা?
I don't eat batteries or food. I run on your compliments. What's more difficult? Dialogue ya dat?
Dat. First ever AI show on Ramdhenu. First ever in Assamese television. Ramdhenu AI show with AI Parijat starts 10th May, 7 p.m. Repeats every day.
প্ৰকাশ পালে মে' মাহৰ
আইনা জীৱনৰ অতি শীঘ্ৰেই আপোনাৰ কপিটো সংগ্ৰহ কৰক।
সাজু হওক এআই পৃথিৱীত বিচৰণ কৰিবলৈ আৰু ৰোমাঞ্চিত হ'বলৈ। ৰামধেনুৱে লৈ আহিছে আপোনালোকৰ নতুন এআই হোষ্ট এআই পাৰিজাত।
নমস্কাৰ অসম।
Well, we have big breaking news coming in. Evacuation is underway to evacuate people. Efforts are underway to evacuate people from select locations in Jammu and Kashmir. Evacuation is being carried out from areas close to the Pakistan border where shelling is going on. And Indian authorities, Indian Defence Forces have already, I'm told that already neutralized 3 Pakistani bases, army posts along the line of control. Now we are also getting more breaking news, viewers, that a total blackout will be there from 7 to 8 p.m. at Alo in West Siwang district of Arunachal Pradesh. This is of course a mock exercise and to see the preparedness of the Indian Air Force and other defense establishments there. There will be a total blackout. Sources are telling us that total blackout at Alo in Arunachal Pradesh from 7 to 8 p.m. tonight, 1 hour, and this is a mock exercise. There is nothing to panic. This is a mock exercise to check on the preparedness of the Indian Air Force. Army medical teams and QRT of SP will assist during the mock drill at Alo. And similar mock exercises are also taking place in other areas in Tawang and Bomdila and so on. Now I have General Rana Pratap Kalita, Army Commander, former Army Commander of the Army's Eastern Command. General Kalita, we have seen the terror attack took place on 22nd. The Cabinet Committee on Security met on the 23rd, the very next day, and a clear message was given out in that meeting by the Prime Minister that ultimately it is the 3 services, the heads of the 3 services or the Indian Defence Forces who are going to take the call. They will be given a lot of freedom in choosing the time and nature of the response. They were giving the full liberty to choose the time and nature of the response, and now we have seen the response. Now over the next few days following yesterday's prior to yesterday's strike, we have seen a series of meetings. He has met the CDS, Chief of Defence Staff, the 3 service chiefs, the Defence Secretary, the National Security Advisor, the Home Secretary, so on and so forth. Now, meticulous planning must have gone into this precision strike because no military targets were hit, no civilian targets were hit, only the terror hubs and terror headquarters, particularly in Murdike, Muzaffarabad, Bahawalpur, were struck.
Yeah, of course. Such type of, like I have been mentioning earlier as well, any sort of response to such a cowardly attack on a nation.
Okay, we have lost that line to General Kalita. We'll come back to General Kalita. We'll refix that line to General Kalita. But Operation Sindur is by far different, by far the biggest strike in recent months or years by India, because earlier, whether it was Uri, whether it was Balakot, we saw the strikes were actually inside the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. But this time round, India has attacked terror hubs in places like Balakot, in places like Bahawalpur, which is 100 kilometers from the line of control. That means India has demonstrated its ability to strike deep inside Pakistan. This is something which India has demonstrated. Now, India has also demonstrated that it is capable of striking but not escalating things, and that is the reason why this precision strike was carried out. That is the reason why military targets were avoided, civilian targets were avoided. Only terror camps belonging to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Hizbul Mujahideen were targeted, 9 in all. We are now getting reports that at least 80 terrorists were killed in those precision strikes by the Indian Defence Forces, where some of the latest state-of-the-art equipments were used, like the Sky missile system, like the Hammer missile system, like even kamikaze drones were used, the suicide drones were used in this attack. I'm joined by the former Director General of Assam Police, a well-known security and defense analyst, Mr. Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, who observes the situation, who has been observing the situation very, very closely in the past few weeks. Mr. Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, welcome to this live broadcast. The nation was waiting for a decisive response by India, and they have seen it last night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The last time that we spoke, this is what was discussed. But what is happening is the kind of maturity, the kind of calibrated response that India has displayed. It was not a knee-jerk kind of a thing. It was no jingoism there. It was well thought out, well practiced, well rehearsed, taking the entire nation along, and they have hit precision targets. Like, Bahawalpur 100 kilometer inside, Muridke 30 kilometer inside. We've been hearing about Muridke from time immemorial. Lashkar-e-Taiba has been wreaking havoc in India from Muridke being the headquarters. Gulpur, Sabal camp, Bilal camp, Kotli camp, very interesting. Kotli camp, I'm told Hizbul Mujahideen were being trained out there big time. And of course, Sarjal and Mahmuna and Zaisi Muhammad, basic areas where they have been thriving all along.
Okay, Mr. Mahanta, just holding you for a moment. These are live visuals coming in. Celebrations of the Indian response in places like Dhubri. The celebration has broken out in Dhubri, celebrating the Indian response inside Pakistan. We have got also celebration. We'll put up those visuals shortly in Jammu as well as Amritsar. Celebration visuals. You see, viewers, on the screen, celebration has broken out. These are visuals from Jammu. People are celebrating the Indian response. The tricolor there flying high.
Definitely Wasbir. India has raised strategic deterrent level several notches higher now by calling the Pakistan and its so-called nuclear bluff.
Absolutely. Now, you see, External Affairs Minister has put out a post in his handle this morning after the strike that the world must demonstrate zero tolerance to terror. It's sort of, the confidence with which the External Affairs Minister, even before the world response, put out this tweet saying that the world must respond, world must demonstrate zero tolerance to terrorism. Now, there is this kind of confidence the world is backing India. So, this confidence in putting out this post comes from that the world is already backing India.
This precision missile strike in Bahawalpur Masjid, Subhanallah, which is the jihad factory of Zaisi Muhammad. The kind of precision attack, actually, since last several days, right from the, hit on the train, Zafar Express, and follow-up actions from the BLA side, it shows that our agencies have been, ensuring the targeting very precisely, very nicely. And the coordination of all the armed forces and the agency is absolutely superb. At the tactical level, the precision missile strike.
Big breaking coming in. I'll take a response from General Kalita and Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta. Reports are now coming in. We have been talking about 80 terrorists killed, but now multiple sources are telling us, reports coming in, that over 100 terrorists have been eliminated in the operation Sindur carried out last night. So India has struck the nerve center of Pakistan's terror factory. Over 100 terrorists killed. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, this is the big breaking story we have been tracking at this point. We have been telling you till short while ago that 80 terrorists were killed. Now we have got almost confirmed reports that over 100 terrorists have been eliminated in that precision strike by India last night before the crack of dawn. General Kalita, 100 terrorists killed. It is not a small number, because terrorists operate 100 terrorists. Some of the top leaders might be also there among those killed. We'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah, surely. That's an excellent news, because confirmation, I'm sure, will come of some more casualties as the news starts trickling in. But as per the initial inputs, like you have said, about 100 terrorists have been confirmed to be eliminated. It's an excellent news in our continuous drive against and fight against terrorism, because we have to remove terrorism from its roots. I think that is where this precision strike has also been able to achieve by striking at particularly, it gives us a lot of happiness that Bahawalpur and Muridke, the basic headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed and has been targeted. Because these are the places from where indoctrination of the people who are being carried out. And there are mosques in those both areas, next to which all these camps were existing. In the large-scale indoctrination of the people who are being carried out, the planning of various terrorist attacks like Mumbai attack, Pulwama attack, Uri attack, all these attacks were planned and at these headquarters of Bahawalpur and Muridke. So targeting of this definitely is an excellent news, and I'm quite positive and I'm quite sure, looking at the importance of these two camps for these terrorist groups, there would be presence of certain senior leaders in this particular two localities. If not in other 7, at least in these two localities, there would be some senior leader presence. And if we get a confirmation of that, of course, that will come slightly later probably. It would be an excellent news for all of us.
Absolutely.
Wasbir,
yes,
that Muridke especially is Markazi Toiba is there. So it's but natural that there will be a great number of elite terrorists would be there, because it is their headquarters. So it's understandable if a big number is getting the hit. And both the locations are situated in Punjab province, the state which controls the Pakistan's politics and military. A hit on the heart of Punjab will have a consequential demoralizing effect among the Pak army, who's been hosting recently. They organized the Kashmir Day, where they have invited the Hamas. They have invited international terrorists. And they have talked about Kashmir being their main focus. So it's only a matter of time that India had to give it to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, after the strike, obviously, he has spoken to all the service chiefs and congratulated on the successful conduct of the operations. Now, we also have first reaction coming in from Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Taking to social media, Home Minister Shah stated, Operation Sindur is Bharat's response to the brutal killing of our innocent brothers in Pahalgam. The Modi government is resolved to give a befitting response to any attack on India and its people. Bharat remains firmly committed to eradicating terrorism from its roots. That is what Union Home Minister Amit Shah has just said. Now we are also getting reports of, now we have talked about reports of 100 terrorists killed. That is no small number. That's a big number. And as our panelists have said, Bhaskar Jeti Manta and General Kalita, these are the hubs of terrorism in Pakistan. Muridke, Bahawalpur, Muzaffarabad, and so on and so forth. These are the places. Even Sialkot was attacked last night. And the array of weapons. Let's go into that array of weapons. Let's take a look at what are some of the weapons which were used in this attack by the Indian forces last night. We'll take a re-look at some of the weapons. If you can have pictures of some of these weapons, if you can have representation. Yeah, India, as I said, utilized the suite of high precision, long range strike weapons in the operation. Among those were the Scalp cruise missiles, the Hammer precision bomb, and the loitering ammunition. The Scalp missile, also known as Storm Shadow, is a long range air launched cruise missile with a range exceeding 250 kilometers and designed for deep strike capabilities. The Hammer, or the highly agile modular munition extended range, this is a smart bomb. This was used to strike hardened infrastructure such as reinforced bunkers and multi-story buildings used as training and logistics centers by the LET and Jaish-e-Mohammed. And the Hammer is also a precision-guided standoff munition capable of striking targets of ranges of 50 to 70 kilometers depending on launch altitude. Now, loitering munitions, also known as kamikaze drones, these are munitions. They were deployed for surveillance, target acquisition, and terminal strike roles. These drone systems hover over target areas and either autonomously or under remote control identify and eliminate the threats. Now, General Kalita, these are very, very sophisticated, state-of-the-art, high-tech equipments used, high-tech military hardware used, which can be operated from within India, but unleash on the targets inside the enemy territory. So Pakistan has got a taste of this today.
Yeah, of course. These are all precision strike ammunitions, whether you call it Hammer or Scalpa. These have been acquired by the Indian Armed Forces as also certain amount of improved version of drones, or what you mentioned as kamikaze drones. So all these precision strike ammunition have been acquired over the years, and they have been gainfully used in this particular precision strike. The two advantages which these new generation weapons that give us is, firstly, these are all standoff weapons, so that they can be fired from staying inside our own territory itself. So you don't have to cross the international border or the line of control to launch these weapons, like those dumb bombs which used to be dropped earlier by the aircrafts and all. So they required us to cross over into the enemy territory and then drop those bombs. But these are smart munitions which have got precise guiding mechanism, and they can be launched. So firstly is the standoff distance, so that you can stay inside our own country and then you can launch. And the second biggest advantage is the accuracy of these weapons, of these precision strike weapons.
Yeah,
they are they are within an accuracy of, say, some meters. So these are all highly accurate ammunition, and you can also carry out a post damage assessment of there are various mechanisms. So once the ammunition or missile have been fired, what damage has been caused by that missile, so that can be carried out by the post damage assessment. So there are various mechanisms, and there are not only these ammunitions, there are other agencies also involved, other weapons and equipments are also involved, other platforms are also involved. So it's to carry out such coordinated strike deep into the Pakistan territory.
Absolutely. I'll go for a short break, but let me tell you, viewers, I'm also joined by defense analyst Colonel Dibya Shankar Bhattacharya. I'll come back after this very short break. Don't go away anywhere. We'll be right back with more updates on the developing situation as India struck Pakistan in the wee hours today.
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই, পিলাৰতো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে।
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা সিমেন্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো,
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহল।
সিমেন্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হলে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে, সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা সিমেন্ট। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্টৰ সুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্ট, কামাল কা কাম, টাইগাৰ হে নাম।
AI Parijat, AI Nikki, and AI Bholuka are coming to your doorstep.
Ramdhenu AI show with AI Parijat starts 10th May, 7 p.m. Repeats every day.
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार, पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर।
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था,
किसी काम का नहीं निकला।
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है, इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट, कमाल का काम, टाइगर है नाम।
हाजू हक एआई पृथ्वीत विचरण কৰিবলৈ আৰু ৰোমাঞ্চিত হ'বলৈ। ৰামধেনুৱে লৈ আহিছে আপোনালোকৰ নতুন এআই হোষ্ট এআই পাৰিজাত।
নমস্কাৰ অসম, মই আপোনালোকৰ এআই হোষ্ট পাৰিজাত। মই লৈ আহিছোঁ অসমৰ প্ৰথমটো এআই শ্ব' ৰামধেনু এআই শ্ব' উইথ পাৰিজাত। এটা মেছেজ আহিছে মালিগাঁৱৰ পৰা, লিখিছে প্ৰিয়াই। পাৰিজাত, তোমাৰ এআই লুকটো বিৰাট ধুনীয়া দেই। তুমি ডেন্স কৰিব পাৰানে? তুমি বেটাৰী খোৱা নে ভাত খোৱা? I don't eat batteries or food. I run on your compliments. What's more difficult? Dialogue ya dat?
That. First ever AI show on Ramdhenu. First ever in Assamese television. Ramdhenu AI show with AI Parijat starts 10th May, 7 p.m. Repeats every day.
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই পিলাৰটো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা চিমেণ্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহল
চিমেণ্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হলে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা চিমেণ্ট ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্টৰ ছুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্ট কামাল কা কাম টাইগাৰ হে নাম
কি হল সন্ধিয়ালৈকে কাম কৰোতে কৰোতে সদায় গাৰ্বি হৈ যায় তাৰ উপৰিও আকৌ মুটু বিষাইছে
তো ওপৰতে হ'ব শুনজনী ভিতৰ চোৱাটো খালি এয়া লোৱা আৰামৰ ৰজা নৱৰত্ন তেল মূৰৰ বিষ ভাগৰ টেনচন অনিদ্ৰা আঁতৰ কৰিব ইয়াৰ 2 মিনিট মালিচ আৰু আপোনাক কৰি তুলিব কুল নৱৰত্ন তেল
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था
किसी काम का नहीं निकला
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट कमाल का काम टाइगर है नाम
Evening Express every day at 5 p.m. You are watching Northeast Live, the region's largest English and Hindi news network.
আইনা জীবন দর্পণ অন্তরার বিশ্লেষণ আইনা দৃষ্টি সন্তর্পণ আইনা অন্তহীন
Okay, welcome back. With the big breaking story is that India has struck at Pakistan and is struck at the terror factory in Pakistan. Precision strikes carried out by the. Okay, before that, big breaking story at this point is that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is likely to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Operation Sindur. Rajnath is likely to meet Prime Minister Modi shortly on Operation Sindur, where the entire first-hand briefing is going to be given to the Prime Minister, who of course was monitoring minute to minute a blow-by-blow account of the operation, even as it was going on inside Pakistan and POK territory last night. To be precise, the operation started at 1:44 in the morning yesterday this morning rather. These are the so okay, we have got these live visuals of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh going to the Prime Minister's residence. This is the Lok Kalyan Mark 7 Lok Kalyan Mark residence of the Prime Minister, where he is going to give a briefing on behalf of the forces to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who in any case has been monitoring the situation very, very closely. He was getting a blow-by-blow account, minute-to-minute account of the operations inside Pakistan as the Indian forces hit 9 terror hubs inside POK and Pakistan itself, and some of them in places like Bahawalpur, which is 100 kilometers inside Pak territory. I have with me Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita, Eastern Army Commander, former Eastern Army Commander. I have got Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, former Director General of Assam Police and a well-known defense analyst. But first I'd like to go to you, Colonel Dibya Bhattacharya, who just joined me in the studios. Your first reaction to Operation Sindur, the precision strike by the Indian forces.
Operation Sindur is a well thought out, well calibrated operation by the Indian Armed Forces. It also signifies two important aspects. Number one, if I were to take the Prime Minister's statement a couple of weeks back at Bihar, where he had mentioned that we will go after terrorists and their infrastructure to the ends of the earth, this has come true, because Firstly, Uri or Balakot strike, both were strikes in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. But this is for the first time that out of the 9 targets, 4 targets are in Pakistan. Therefore, it signifies that yes, we will go to the terrorist hideouts, the terrorist headquarters, wherever it be, and not only in certain areas, limited areas. The second aspect which I would like to bring out is that we have used the Rafale aircrafts and we have taken action or fired missiles from well within Indian territory. So we have also endorsed and said that this is not an action against the Pakistan people or the Pakistan government, but it is primarily an operation against terrorist infrastructure.
Absolutely, this has been a well-calibrated action by India. This has been non-escalatory in nature, and that is the reason why the Pakistanis cannot say that, oh well, India has come and attacked civilian population, there has been civilian casualties and so on. We have these pictures of flares coming up after these precision strikes inside Pakistan. Bhaskar Jyoti Mohanto, this was extremely important. India has made it very clear that no military target was hit, no civilian target was hit, only Pakistan terror hubs, designated terror camps, terror headquarters were hit, and India has even given out names of some of these places that were hit by terror. So India has given out a clear message to the world that andar ghush ke marenge, and they have demonstrated it.
It's been on the cards for quite some time, but the way the kind of well thought out and the calibrated method and the coordination that had taken place among agencies and the armed forces in selecting the targets and getting them precisely is very heartening. As looking at India's capabilities and selection of the right kind of missile systems, or for that matter, the drones that you have mentioned, the Scalpa system, etc. I tell you, this is going to be a game changer, and this is perhaps this is on cards to become an SOP. If there is any kind of an attack on India by elements from within Pakistan, perhaps this kind of a response system is going to be the order of the day. Right. This is for the entire world to see. And yes, India isn't inviting too much of an international consternation.
Absolutely.
It's not an attack on another country as such. This is basically to safeguard its own sovereignty that India has launched without violating the Pakistani airspace. And from within India itself, it has hit them, and they haven't hit any of the Pakistani army targets. So it's well within rights to do that. And if there is a response from Pakistan of any kind, it will get it back.
Yeah, that is what I want to take this to General Kalita. General Kalita, what do you think Pakistan is going to do now? What kind of a response do you think Pakistan is going to respond at all? What is your assessment, General Kalita?
You see, Pakistan keeping the internal developments in Pakistan and the poor perception about the Pakistan army within Pakistan and the challenges it faces, they have to retaliate. Let's face it. That's the truth of the whole situation. So, looking at their status, how they have been critical, the whole nation, and particularly even within Pak army, some of the junior officers have been very vocal and critical about their strategic leadership. So I feel that they will definitely try and retribute. One is by physical measures, and second is by IW, that information warfare, which they have been doing right since the time the strikes had gone on. We'd have seen, Pakistan, social media and other platforms, they have been coming out that saying that Indian strikes have been on innocent civilians and they have shot down some Indian aircrafts. So this sort of, messaging they would definitely try and do. So their response would be in physical, which is, they have already stated that it will be in a place and time of their own choosing. They will definitely respond.
Yeah.
And secondly, is in the information domain. And the thirdly, which is already ongoing, is a heavier exchange of fire, including upgradation of the calibers across the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. Already civilian that had been going on since 23rd April. It has intensified since last night, and it is still ongoing. So those sort of response, I would say, would carry on from the Pakistan side.
Yeah.
Of course, they will go crying to the international community, particularly to the Security Council, as well as to their backers like China, who has been openly siding with Pakistan. And they would also like to, I'm sure at the diplomatic level, approach some of the Western powers to put pressure on India so that there is no escalation. Because escalation is not in their interest.
Absolutely.
Like it has been coming out in news that
Yeah.
Pak army today is not capable of a sustained conflict, prolonged conflict with India because of the shortage of munitions, shortage of manpower, and the all other related economical issues. So,
Right.
so they would definitely want an end to it, yet have some carry out action which saves them or save their honor.
Absolutely. I'll soon be joined by General Nishikanta Singh, General L. Nishikanta Singh shortly. I'll ask my producers to put General Nishikanta Singh on line right now with me. We have a breaking news coming in. Mock drills have been called off in Jammu and Kashmir. The move comes after last night's Operation Sindur. So the mock drills there have been called off and cancelled in Jammu and Kashmir. There is no need for the mock drills now that India has responded. Now the focus is on the line of control, where Pakistan has stepped up its earlier last few days they have been carrying on with small arms fire. Now, as the general has said, we are also getting reports that they have increased the caliber of the firepower along the line of control. Now let me ask you, Colonel Dibya Bhattacharya, now you see we have responded. We have seen our response. We have demonstrated our capabilities. We have also demonstrated the arsenal that we have in our military hardware. Now, what can Pakistan do now? What is your assessment? We have heard from the general. What do you think Pakistan can do right now?
Pakistan is now in a catch-22 situation. They are unsure because they were not expecting anything to come outside Pak-occupied Kashmir. Therefore, when they have now realized that India has called their bluff and has attacked in or carried out missile strikes in other parts of Pakistan, they have to recalibrate and rethink their strategy. Secondly, I think at this point of time, we have to take into account the internal dynamics of Kashmir. Firstly, all the 4 provinces are pulling in different directions. Especially, I would say, Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We all know what is going on there. In fact, at the moment, most of the Pakistani troops, if you see, the majority of the troops are not on the Indian border, but they were on the Afghanistan border, and now, of course, they will be moving towards the Indian border. So that means they are vulnerable towards the Afghanistan border. Another aspect which I would like to bring out is that if you see the condition of Pakistan economically, they are very badly off, and there are reports that they have got arms, ammunition and fuel oil lubricants just to sustain for only 6 days of intense warfare. And with the Indian Navy likely to blockade in the Arabian Sea, any other supplies might not take off. Therefore, they are vulnerable on that front. Additionally, it has been reported that they had been giving away or selling their 155 mm howitzers ammunition to Ukraine for getting foreign exchange. So they are short of ammunition also. On the other aspect, it can be seen that Pakistan might take the support of China. But in the present context, I do not think that China would come out very openly or physically in support. Of course, they will keep on giving support in terms of arms ammunition. The 3 countries which I think will be for Pakistan will be China, Turkey and of course Bangladesh. Azerbaijan is another small country. Now, another aspect which I would like to bring out is that Pakistan is faced with a Hobson's choice. The choice is, if they escalate, the Indian armed forces and the Indian planners had been planning for the last 2 weeks, and we had wargamed and thought of that what would be our response in case Pakistan escalates.
We are getting breaking stories that at least 10 civilians, we are getting news of 10 civilians, we are getting news of 10 civilians being killed. Now, on the Indian side, indiscriminate firing by Pakistan along the line of control. Now, the point is, we are saying that India has not attacked civilian populations, but Pakistan, in a desperate attempt, has been targeting civilian populations in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, at least 10 civilians have been killed and 38 others injured at Pakistani army. Pakistani army has targeted the thing on the Indian side. Now, so this is the big breaking story at this point in time, that at least 10 civilians have been killed, and 10 civilians have been killed on the Indian side in indiscriminate firing by the Pakistanis. So this is the big story, and as Pakistani army has targeted civilian populations along the LOC in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Pakistan army pounded dozens of forward villages with artillery and mortar shelling along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. This is the big breaking news coming in. So this is what Pakistanis are doing. Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, so these are knee-jerk response by Pakistan targeting civilians now on our side.
I'm told India is responding in equal measure as well.
Yes.
As not aiming at the civilians, but aiming at the big guns as well as the others which been firing towards Indian side. So India is already beginning to give equal amount of response. Now Pakistan is going to go around the world looking for soldiers to cry on. Yes, Turkey is given its soldier. I believe Turkey has sent a plane also. China, as already mentioned, is going to give some hardware and but the situation is such that it cannot be escalated by the international players at all at this moment. But then, yes, IMF bailout is around the corner. India needs to really play its cards very well so that the IMF bailout to Pakistan doesn't happen. And FATF grey list, India has helped Pakistan, though initially India is really focused on putting the Pakistani terror state into the FATF grey list. And later, with all those, track to diplomacy, etc., influence from China, etc., India is also kind of given a nod to get it out of FATF grey list. Now, India must make it a point to put Pakistan in FATF grey list without fail. Then they would understand how money given for development purpose for the people is being spent by the Pakistani army to divert it for terroristic cause and to cause problems in India. So economic front, I guess, and the diplomatic front, India has to really
absolutely, Bhaskar,
war at this moment.
Absolutely. Now, let me take this question. We have seen there is a total chaos inside Pakistan. Now, as far as the political leadership is concerned, the main opposition leader, Imran Khan, is still in jail despite a warlike situation, despite the tensions. He has been still kept in jail. Whereas, despite the differences, let me emphasize, despite the differences, the opposition in India is backing the government wholeheartedly, and not just as far as Operation Sindur is concerned. Operation Sindur also, all the opposition leaders in India, including Rahul Gandhi, Mayawati, and so on and so forth, have backed the government. So that is a very, very positive thing, isn't it, Colonel Bhattacharya?
Yes. That is an extremely heartening and positive thing, and that shows the difference between Pakistan and India. Like I mentioned, Pakistan is so divided that their most popular leader, Imran Khan, who is at present the most popular person, he is himself in jail, and in fact, I would like to put it that General Asim Munir and Imran Khan do not see eye to eye at all.
Absolutely. So that is the story. That is the story of Kashmir. I'm joined by General L. Nishikanta Singh. General, welcome to this live broadcast. I've got former Eastern Army Commander General Kalita with me. I've got a former DGP of Assam Police Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta with me. I have with me well-known defense analyst Colonel Dibya Bhattacharya. Welcome to this broadcast. Now, General Nishikanta was with the Pakistan desk for several years, 4 to 5 years. And he knows this subject. Now, General Nishikanta Singh, you have been observing what has been going on since the 22nd of April, the dastardly attack, and finally, India responded. The nation was wanting this response, and India demonstrated its capability to strike not just at POK, but inside Pakistan for the first time in several years.
I will put it this way. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I will put it this way, that this is a dream come true for me, because when we were serving, we were waiting for this opportunity to strike at the enemy, but unfortunately it did not happen. Now, when we talk about the strike, it is not hitting in a town, it is precisely hitting a particular building in a large town. So we have the very accurate coordinates, and I can assure you that in a particular building, if we are going to hit, it will be that building only and not left and right.
Yes.
Secondly, I'll put it this way. There is a difference between what is happening now and what we had in 2018 and 2019. What is difference is that in 2018 and 19, we have a major international force in the subcontinent, or rather next to subcontinent, that is in Pakistan, in Afghanistan. The NATO forces, the Americans, and everyone was present in Afghanistan. So whatever action that India and Pakistan was taking had to be in consideration of presence of a major military force in the vicinity. But today, that is not there anymore. And you would have seen the reactions from the Pakistanis. Pakistanis possibly miscalculated that other countries will stop India from striking back. So they have been running here and there nuclear saber rattling,
recording stopped,
and threatening the world that we will have a nuclear war if India attacks.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I really appreciate the reaction which came from the Chinese. Chinese have not condemned the strike. Chinese have just simply said that it's regrettable.
Yeah, regrettable. Chinese have not condemned it. They very rightly said, General. Chinese have said that it is regrettable. Now, that was not the kind of response that a lot of people were expecting from the Chinese. The Pakistanis will be unhappy.
Yes, the Pakistanis will be the Pakistanis' only savior, only hope is that the international community directs Pakistan not to respond further. So that can be a fast saving for them. So they are looking. They have been trying to nuclear blackmail. In fact, if you have seen, their ministers are already telling that Pakistan is fighting on behalf of the world. Pakistan is fighting on behalf of the world. That is what their statement says.
Yes. Yes. General, hold on. I'll come back to you. We are getting some audio leak. I'll ask the producers to fix that. And these are live visuals on the right hand side of your screen. That is where, from New Delhi, that is where the press conference, the news briefing is going to take place by the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of External Affairs short while from now. Now, Chief of the Army and Chief of the Air Force are going to be present in that news briefing a short while from now. That is 10:30 is the time given. We'll go cut live to that press briefing, but we have got still some few minutes. I'll request my okay, we'll go live. CDS is briefing right now. Right now, CDS is briefing Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Operation Sindur. Let me go to General Kalita, and I'll come back to you, Mr. Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta and Colonel Dibya Bhattacharya. General Kalita, you know, how do you see, what kind of an impact does it have on a defense, on the armed forces, when you don't have a decisive leadership from the political class? That is what is happening in Pakistan. It doesn't have a decisive leader. Do you think a time may come when the army or the armed forces in Pakistan may got totally sick and launch a coup and take everything in their own hands? Do you see that kind of a scenario when the heat becomes much more?
You see, we all know that what is the internal situation in Pakistan is.
Yeah.
Irrespective of a democratically elected government, which a lot of us call it a sham democracy. In spite of a democratically elected government, which is supposed to be in power and who should be dictating terms, Pakistan as a nation historically has been having the army calling the shots since independence. So we have had couple of occasions when the coup had taken place, and then thereafter, including Ayub Khan, Ziaul Haq, who usurped power and ruled on for quite some time. Then even Pervez Musharraf, he was there after the Kargil war. So such sort of primacy of Pakistan army in the internal, not only in internal development as also in the external affairs and defense. So they have been, to be put it very bluntly, basically Pakistan army has been ruling the country for quite some time. One of the latest example was since Imran Khan, who was the popular prime minister, he was trying to take certain strong measures against the Pakistan army. He was removed in the last elections, and he is in jail, and there have been a lot of allegations of mistreatment of an ex-prime minister in jail. So that is the state of Pakistan as a nation. We not talk about the economical situation or the other state. You imagine the plight of the common people in Pakistan. So whatever, like the Pahalgam attack, this has been done at the behest of the Chief of the Army Staff, General Asim Munir. Everybody has been talking about that. He was the head of ISI when Pulwama attack had taken place. So we all know he's a extremely radicalized general, and with strong anti-India views. So I would say that Pakistan army, the problem is, what is the present problem is, the Pakistan army within the state has lost its credibility over these years. So there are, like I mentioned earlier as well, we heard in the news that there has been lot of resignations from the Pakistan army, including some senior officers have also resigned following the Pahalgam attack. As also there have been a lot of junior officers who have been very vocal and critical of the strategic directions they are receiving from the higher leadership of the Pakistan army. So in these circumstances, I am not very sure what sort of directions or guidance the political leadership in Pakistan can provide to the army. I feel it is the other way around. It is the Pakistan army who are dictating terms and asking the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister and the others to state what they want to be stated.
Right. Absolutely. I'll go for a short break. This live discussion begins immediately after this very short break.
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार, पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर।
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था,
किसी काम का नहीं निकला।
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है, इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत। ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट, कमाल का काम, टाइगर है नाम।
AI Parijat, AI Nikki, and AI Bholuka are coming to your doorstep.
Ramdhenu AI show with AI Parijat starts 10th May, 7 p.m. Repeats every day.
এইখন ওয়ালত কিমান ড্যাম্প আছে ভাই, পিলাৰটো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে।
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা সিমেন্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো,
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহল।
সিমেন্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হলে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে, সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা সিমেন্ট। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্টৰ সুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ সিমেন্ট, কমাল কা কাম, টাইগাৰ হে নাম।
আইনা জীবন দর্পণ, অন্তৰৰ বিশ্লেষণ, আইনা দৃষ্টি সন্তৰ্পণ।
পালে মে মাহৰ আইনা জীৱনৰ অতি শীঘ্ৰেই আপোনাৰ কপিটো সংগ্ৰহ কৰক
दीवार पे कितना डैम्प है यार पिलर में भी फ्रैक्चर
मैं तो नाम वाला सीमेंट ही लाया था
किसी काम का नहीं निकला
सीमेंट सिर्फ नाम वाला हो तो घर हॉरर स्टोरी बन सकता है इसीलिए लाएं काम वाला सीमेंट ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट का सुपर फाइन बॉन्ड और हाई कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ बनाए घर का कोना कोना मजबूत ब्लैक टाइगर सीमेंट कमाल का
Okay, let me ask you, Colonel Bhattacharya. I'll ask the same question to Bhaskar Chuti Mohanto and General Nisikanta also. But first, with you, Colonel Bhattacharya. You know, the decisive direction given by the political leadership in India to the armed forces. How important is that? Because a clear-cut leadership is extremely important because in India we are a democracy, we have a very, very disciplined armed forces and we listen to the decisions of the elected government, but that is not the case in Pakistan. So, do you think that will have an impact on the military operations on both sides, and if so, how?
Definitely, that will have a tremendous effect because I feel that as one of the principles of war, the decisive directions which is given by the political leadership, especially in a democracy like ours, is very, very important. The freedom which has been given by the present dispensation to the armed forces chiefs to select the targets and also the time and place of your choosing, that was what was mentioned to them, has been extremely important. You see, if you look at it, on 4th there was an announcement of mock drills, but basically that was, if I may say so, that was a screen, and instead of a mock drill we went in for an actual attack. So that is what planning
that involves. Is what strategy,
that is the strategy, that is how you divert attention from one aspect and strike when the enemy least expects.
Right. Let me take the reactions because the press conference is about to start. Let me take the same question to General Nishikanta. How important is a decisive political direction?
I will put it this way: all the military planning starts from whatever political direction is being given to us. The government gave us a very clear direction. The end state, that is what the armed forces is required to do, is destruction of the Pakistani structures which are housing the militants, or the facilities which are supporting the militants, and that is exactly where we went in. And I can tell you that whatever has been stuck up, whatever has been targeted, like let us say, take the example of Murid K or Sialkot or even Bawalpur. These are known locations which has been existing for a long time. Hence, we cannot have mistaken it. And when the government says that he gives a free hand to the armed forces to do it as it wants, it is not. There is no ifs and buts. And it was very great of the government, especially the Honorable Prime Minister, to have given a free hand, and they really helped in the planning process. And the planning can be handicapped if there are too many riders that you will not do this, you will not do that, you will not do this. It was given a free hand when and where and at what time, using what weapon system. It's all up to you. That is what was given to the armed forces. So I feel that really helped the Indian Defence Forces to coordinate and decide on what time, what target, and what is to be done.
Right. Let me ask put it in a different way to General Kalita. I don't know whether Bhaskar Chuti Mohanto is there. I want him on the screen if possible. Now, General Kalita, you know, the fact that on our side, that is on Indian side, we have got a clear-cut leadership, as General Nishikanta has said. But that is not the case in the case of Pakistan. Now, India must have given a clear instruction that to avoid civilian casualties, don't strike in civilian areas. But do you think that kind of a lack of a clarity from the Pakistan side, or Pakistan must have given its armed forces that do whatever you like? Do you think that can also be possible in a country like Pakistan?
You see, in a country like Pakistan, they thrive on the policy of irrationality. That is what has been projected And that is what their information warfare also projects, the image of that country, particularly with respect to its relationship with us, India, particularly with respect to India-Pak relations. And they have always been doing nuclear saber rattling, as it had been brought out earlier as well. And there also they follow a policy of irrationality, that they can be irrational as far as use of nuclear weapon is concerned, and they have been referring to as use of tactical nuclear weapons as well. Even post the 22 April Pahalgam attack, when the tension had flared up between the two countries and any sort of action from India was imminent, Pakistani ministers have gone on record and stated about that nuclear attack, and they have stated that if we don't leave, nobody else is going to leave. So it's completely a failed state where we have the military ruling the country, and any sort of decision, and they are not they're not bothered about whether they are targeting civilians or whether they are targeting military infrastructure. There is no terrorist infrastructure in India that the whole world knows. So what they can target, they can either target the military infrastructure or target the innocent civilians. And that is what they did even during the Pahalgam attack. They targeted innocent tourists in that dastardly attack.
Right.
So this is their policy which they have been following all through.
Absolutely. Colonel Bhattacharya, what is your take on this? Is Bhaskar City Mahanta there? Okay. Colonel Bhattacharya, what is your take?
We have talked about the unity amongst Indian politicians, both the ruling party and the opposition. Now let us take a look at what is happening in Pakistan. Firstly, I had mentioned about the divisions in the political class in Pakistan, that is between the ruling and the opposition party, especially Imran Khan. I would also like to mention here that there is a strong division, in fact a bifurcation between the two Asims, that is Asim Munir, the Pakistan chief, and Asim Malik, the ISI chief. They are on one side along with a few of the corps commanders, and the rest of the Pakistan army top officers are on another side. So that means there is a difference of opinion or division, internal division in the Pakistani army as far as the response to Indian attacks or as far as the Pahalgam terror strike that was concerned. So so everything is not hunky-dory in Pakistan, both from the internal side, internal aspects, and also from the army aspect. And I think that with the tensions with India escalating, if it escalates, then there is a strong possibility that there will be further divisions, and this will lead to various serious problems for Pakistan.
Okay, we'll go for a short break. On the other side, I think by the time we come back from this break, there is going to be, the press conference is going to start. It is likely to be addressed by the Chief of Defence Staff. That's what we are gathering at this point in time. We don't know whether the other chiefs are going to be also present at the press conference. Defence Minister has left the South Block. We don't know whether he is also going to come to that press conference. But I would like to request my esteemed panelists, they're free to move around during that press conference, but I would like to take their views, because their views are very important at this position. If they can spare some more time after the press briefing, we'll just quickly take their reactions and say thank you to them, but I'd request them to stay on until after press briefing. We'll go for a short break, but by the time if the press briefing starts, we go live, and otherwise we'll continue a little bit with our panelists. Don't go away, I'll be right back.
সন্ধিয়ালৈকে কাম কৰোতে কৰোতে সদায় গাৰ্বি হৈ যায়, তাৰ উপৰিও আকৌ মুটু বিষাইছে।
তো ওপৰতে হ'ব শুনজনী, ভিতৰ চোৱাটো খালি। এয়া লোৱা আৰামৰ ৰজা নৱৰত্ন তেল, মূৰৰ বিষ, ভাগৰ, টেনচন, অনিদ্ৰা আঁতৰ কৰিব ইয়াৰ 2 মিনিট মালিচ আৰু আপোনাক কৰি তুলিব কুল। নৱৰত্ন তেল।
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই পিলাৰতো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা চিমেণ্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহ'ল
চিমেণ্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হ'লে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা চিমেণ্ট ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্টৰ ছুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্ট কমাল কা কাম টাইগাৰ হে নাম
আইনা জীবন দর্পণ অন্তরার বিশ্লেষণ আইনা দৃষ্টি সন্তর্পণ আইনা অন্তহীন
প্ৰকাশ পালে মে মাহৰ আইনা জীৱনৰ অতি শীঘ্ৰেই আপোনাৰ কপিটো সংগ্ৰহ কৰক
সাজু হওক এআই পৃথিৱীত বিচৰণ কৰিবলৈ আৰু ৰোমাঞ্চিত হ'বলৈ ৰামধেনুৱে লৈ আহিছে আপোনালোকৰ নতুন এআই হোষ্ট এআই পাৰিজাত
নমস্কাৰ অসম মই আপোনালোকৰ এআই হোষ্ট পাৰিজাত মই লৈ আহিছোঁ অসমৰ প্ৰথমটো এআই শ্ব' ৰামধেনু এআই শ্ব' উইথ পাৰিজাত এটা মেছেজ আহিছে মালিগাঁৱৰ পৰা লিখিছে প্ৰিয়াই পাৰিজাত তোমাৰ এআই লুকটো
नमस्कार इस ब्रीफिंग में शामिल होने के लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद जैसा कि आप सभी जानते हैं 22 अप्रैल 2025 को लश्कर तैयबा से संबंधित पाकिस्तानी और पाकिस्तान प्रशिक्षित आतंकवादियों ने भारत में जम्मू और कश्मीर के पहलगाम में भारतीय पर्यटकों पर बर्बरतापूर्ण हमला किया 25 भारतीयों और एक नेपाली नागरिक को कायरतापूर्ण मौत के घाट उतार दिया गया मुंबई के 26 नवंबर 2008 के हमलों के बाद यह भारत में हुई किसी आतंकवादी हमले में मारे गए आम नागरिकों की संख्या की दृष्टि से सबसे गंभीर घटना है पहलगाम का हमला अत्यधिक बर्बरतापूर्ण था जिसमें वहां मौजूद लोगों को करीब से और उनके परिवारों के सामने सिर पर गोली मारी गई। हत्या के इस तरीके से परिवार के सदस्यों को जानबूझकर आघात पहुंचाया गया। साथ ही उन्हें यह नसीहत भी दी गई कि वे वापस जाकर इस संदेश को पहुंचा दें। यह हमला स्पष्ट रूप से जम्मू और कश्मीर में बहाल हो रही सामान्य स्थिति को बाधित करने के उद्देश्य से किया गया था। चूंकि पर्यटन फिर से अर्थव्यवस्था का मुख्य आधार बन रहा था, इस हमले का मुख्य उद्देश्य इसे प्रतिकूल रूप से प्रभावित करना था। पिछले वर्ष आप सभी जानते हैं 2.25 करोड़ से अधिक पर्यटक कश्मीर आए थे। इस हमले का मुख्य उद्देश्य इसलिए संभवतः यह था कि इस संघ राज्य क्षेत्र में विकास और प्रगति को नुकसान पहुंचाकर इसे पिछड़ा बनाए रखा जाए और पाकिस्तान से लगातार होने वाले सीमा पार आतंकवाद के लिए उपजाऊ जमीन बनाने में सहायता की जाए। हमले का यह तरीका जम्मू और कश्मीर और शेष राष्ट्र दोनों में सांप्रदायिक दंगे भड़काने के उद्देश्य से भी प्रेरित था। इसका श्रेय सरकार और भारत के सभी नागरिकों को दिया जाना चाहिए कि इन प्रयासों को विफल कर दिया गया। एक समूह ने खुद को रेजिस्टेंस फ्रंट टीआरएफ कहते हुए इस हमले की जिम्मेदारी ली है। यह समूह संयुक्त राष्ट्र द्वारा प्रतिबंधित पाकिस्तानी आतंकवादी समूह लश्कर तैयबा से जुड़ा हुआ है। यह उल्लेखनीय है कि भारत ने मई और नवंबर 2024 में संयुक्त राष्ट्र की 1267 कमेटी की सैंक्शंस मॉनिटरिंग टीम को अर्धवार्षिक रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत की थी, जिसमें टीआरएफ के बारे में साफ इनपुट दिए गए थे। इससे पाकिस्तान स्थित आतंकवादी समूहों के लिए कवर के रूप में टीआरएफ की भूमिका सामने आई थी। इससे पहले भी दिसंबर 2023 में भारत ने इस टीम को लश्कर तैयबा और जैश ए मोहम्मद के बारे में सूचित किया था, जो टीआरएफ जैसे छोटे आतंकवादी समूहों के माध्यम से अपनी गतिविधियों को संचालित कर रहे हैं। इस संबंध में 25 अप्रैल को यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल प्रेस वक्तव्य में टीआरएफ के संदर्भ को हटाने के लिए पाकिस्तान के दबाव पर भी ध्यान दिया जाना चाहिए। पहलगाम आतंकवादी हमले की जांच से पाकिस्तान के साथ आतंकवादियों के संपर्क उजागर हुए हैं। रेजिस्टेंस फ्रंट द्वारा किए गए दावे और लश्कर तैयबा से ज्ञात सोशल मीडिया हैंडल द्वारा इसको रीपोस्ट किया जाना इसकी पुष्टि करता है। चश्मदीद गवाहों और विभिन्न जांच एजेंसियों को उपलब्ध अन्य सूचनाओं के आधार पर हमलावरों की पहचान भी हुई है। हमारी इंटेलिजेंस ने इस टीम के योजनाकारों और उनके समर्थकों की जानकारी जुटाई है। इस हमले की रूपरेखा भारत में सीमा पार आतंकवाद को अंजाम देने के पाकिस्तान के लंबे ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड से भी जुड़ी हुई है, जिसके लिखित और स्पष्ट दस्तावेज उपलब्ध हैं। पाकिस्तान दुनिया भर में आतंकवादियों के लिए एक शरण स्थल के रूप में पहचान बना चुका है। यहां अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर प्रतिबंधित आतंकवादी सजा पाने से बचे रहते हैं। इसके अलावा पाकिस्तान ने इस मुद्दे पर विश्व और फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स जैसे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंचों को जानबूझकर गुमराह करने के लिए भी जाना जाता है। साजिद मीर का मामला, जिसमें इस आतंकवादी को पाकिस्तान ने मृत घोषित कर दिया था और फिर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय दबाव के परिणाम स्वरूप वो जीवित पाया गया, इसका सबसे स्पष्ट उदाहरण है। यह स्वाभाविक है कि पहलगाम में हुए इस हमले से जम्मू और कश्मीर के साथ साथ भारत के अन्य भागों में भी आक्रोश देखा गया। हमलों के बाद भारत सरकार ने स्वाभाविक रूप से पाकिस्तान के साथ संबंधों को लेकर कुछ कदम उठाए। आप सभी उन निर्णयों से अवगत हैं जिसकी घोषणा 23 अप्रैल को की गई थी। तथापि यह आवश्यक समझा गया कि 22 अप्रैल के हमले के अपराधियों और उनके योजनाकारों को न्याय के कटघरे में लाया जाए। हमलों के एक पखवाड़े के बाद भी पाकिस्तान द्वारा अपने क्षेत्र या अपने नियंत्रण वाले क्षेत्रों में आतंकवादियों की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही करने के लिए कोई स्पष्ट कदम नहीं उठाया गया है। उल्टे वो इनकार करने और आरोप लगाने में ही लिप्त रहा है। पाकिस्तान आधारित आतंकवादी मॉड्यूल्स पर हमारी खुफिया निगरानी ने संकेत दिया है कि भारत के विरुद्ध आगे भी हमले हो सकते हैं। अतः इनको रोकना और इनसे निपटना दोनों को बेहद आवश्यक समझा गया। आज सुबह, जैसा कि आपको ज्ञात होगा, भारत ने इस तरह के सीमा पार हमलों का जवाब देने और उन्हें रोकने तथा उनका प्रतिरोध करने के अपने अधिकार का प्रयोग किया है। यह कार्यवाही नपीतुली, नॉन एस्केलेटरी, आनुपातिक और जिम्मेदारीपूर्ण है। यह आतंकवाद की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को समाप्त करने और भारत में भेजे जाने वाले संभावित आतंकवादियों को अक्षम बनाने पर केंद्रित है। आपको यह भी स्मरण होगा कि 25 अप्रैल 2025 को संयुक्त राष्ट्र सुरक्षा परिषद ने पहलगाम आतंकवादी हमले पर एक प्रेस वक्तव्य जारी किया था, जिसमें आतंकवाद के इस निंदनीय कार्य के अपराधियों, आयोजकों, फाइनेंसरों और प्रायोजकों को जवाबदेह ठहराने और उन्हें न्याय के दायरे में लाने की आवश्यकता पर जोर दिया गया था। भारत की आज की इस कार्रवाई को इसी संदर्भ में देखा जाना चाहिए। Good morning. Thank you all for joining this briefing. As you are all aware, on April 22, 2025, Pakistani and Pakistan-trained terrorists belonging to the Lashkar-e-Taiba carried out a savage attack on Indian tourists at Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir in India. They murdered 26 people, including one national of Nepal, causing the largest number of civilian casualties in a terrorist attack in India since the 26 November 2008 attacks in Mumbai. The attack in Pahalgam was marked by extreme barbarity, with the victims mostly killed with headshots from close range and in front of their families. Family members were deliberately traumatized through the manner of the killing, accompanied by the exhortation that they should take back the message. The attack was clearly driven by the objective of undermining the normalcy returning to Jammu and Kashmir. In particular, it was designed to impact the mainstay of the economy, tourism, with a record 23 million tourists visiting the valley last year. The calculation presumably was that harming growth and development in the Union territory would help keep it backward and create fertile ground for continued cross-border terrorism from Pakistan. The manner of the attack was also driven by an objective of provoking communal discord, both in Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the nation. It is to the credit of the government and the people of India that these designs were foiled. A group calling itself the Resistance Front has claimed responsibility for the attack. This group is a front for the UN-proscribed Pakistani terrorist group Lashkar-e-Taiba. It is notable that India had given inputs about the TRF in the half-yearly report to the monitoring team of the UN's 1267 Sanctions Committee in May and November 2024, bringing out its role as a cover for Pakistan-based terrorist groups. Earlier too, in December 2023, India had informed the monitoring team about Lashkar and Jaish-e-Mohammed operating through small terror groups such as the TRF. Pakistan's pressure to remove references to TRF in the April 25 UN Security Council press statement is notable in this regard. Investigations into the Pahalgam terror attack have brought out the communication notes of terrorists in and to Pakistan. The claims made by the Resistance Front and their reposting by known social media handles of the Lashkar-e-Taiba speak for themselves. Identification of the attackers based on eyewitness accounts as well as other information available to law enforcement agencies has also progressed. Our intelligence has developed an accurate picture of the planners and backers of this team. The features of this attack also tie in with Pakistan's long track record of perpetrating cross-border terrorism in India, which is well documented and beyond question. Pakistan also has a well-deserved reputation as a haven for terrorists from around the world, with internationally proscribed terrorists enjoying impunity there. In addition, Pakistan has been known to willfully mislead the world and international forums, such as the Financial Action Task Force, on this issue. The Sajid Mir case, in which this terrorist was declared dead and then, in response to international pressure, brought back to life, found alive and arrested, is the most glaring example. The latest attack in Pahalgam has understandably generated deep anger in Jammu and Kashmir and in other parts of India. Following the attacks, the government of India naturally responded with a set of initial measures relating to our engagement with Pakistan. You're all aware of the decisions that were announced on the 23rd of April. However, it was deemed essential that the perpetrators and planners of the 22nd April attack be brought to justice. Despite a fortnight having passed since the attacks, there has been no demonstrable step from Pakistan to take action against the terrorist infrastructure on its territory or on territory under its control. Instead, all it has indulged in are denials and allegations. Our intelligence monitoring of Pakistan-based terrorist modules indicated that further attacks against India were impending. There was thus a compulsion both to deter and to preempt. Earlier this morning, as you would be aware, India exercised its right to respond and preempt as well as deter more such cross-border attacks. These actions were measured, non-escalatory, proportionate, and responsible. They focused on dismantling the terrorist infrastructure and disabling terrorists likely to be sent across to India. You would also recall that the Security Council on 25th April 2025 had issued a press statement on the Pahalgam terror attack, underlining, and I quote, the need to hold perpetrators, organizers, financiers, and sponsors of this reprehensible act of terrorism accountable and bring them to justice, unquote. India's latest actions should be seen in this context. Joining me for this briefing on our actions earlier this morning are Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. I will request them to share some details regarding Operation Sindur with all of you.
सुप्रभात देवियों और सज्जनों, मैं कर्नल सोफिया कुरैशी और मेरे साथ विंग कमांडर व्योमिका सिंह आज आपको 6 से 7 मई 2025 की रात 1:05 से 1:30 बजे के बीच भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों द्वारा अंजाम दिए गए ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बारे में जानकारी देंगे। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर 22 अप्रैल को पहलगाम में हुए विभत्स आतंकवादी हमले के शिकार मासूम नागरिकों व उनके परिवारों को न्याय देने के लिए लॉन्च किया गया था। इस कार्रवाई में 9 टेररिस्ट कैंप्स को टारगेट किया गया और पूरी तरह से इसे बर्बाद किया गया। पाकिस्तान में पिछले 3 दशकों से टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण हो रहा है। इसमें रिक्रूटमेंट, इंडोक्ट्रिनेशन सेंटर्स, ट्रेनिंग एरियाज व लॉन्च पैड शामिल थे, जो पाकिस्तान और पाक अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर POJK दोनों में फैले हैं।
Operation Sindur was launched by Indian Armed Forces to deliver justice to the victims of Pahalgam terror attack and their families. 9 terrorist camps were targeted and successfully destroyed. Over the last 3 decades, Pakistan has systematically built terror infrastructure. It is a complex web of recruitment and indoctrination centers, training areas for initial and refresher courses, and launch pads for handlers. These camps are located both in Pakistan as well as Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir areas. Some of the well-known training camps are located, as you can see on the screen. They are distributed from Savai Nala in the north, counting to approximately 21, ending at Bhagalpur to the south.
इन लक्ष्यों का चयन विश्वसनीय इंटेलिजेंस सूचनाओं के आधार पर हुआ ताकि आतंक गतिविधियों की रीढ़ तोड़ी जा सके और यह खास ध्यान दिया गया कि निर्दोष नागरिकों और सिविलियन इंस्टॉलेशन को नुकसान न पहुंचे.
The selection of these targets for Operation Sindur was based on credible intelligence inputs and role of these facilities in perpetrating the terror activities. The locations were so selected to avoid damage to civilian infrastructures and loss of any civilian lives. This was done with due diligence, and the camps selected for targeting and their engagement will now be shown to you one by one.
POJK के टारगेट आपको बताना चाहूंगी. सबसे पहले सवाई नाला कैंप मुजफ्फराबाद, जो कि POJK के लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल से 30 किलोमीटर दूर है. यह एक लश्कर तौयबा का ट्रेनिंग सेंटर था. 20 अक्टूबर 2024 सोनमर्ग, 24 अक्टूबर 24 गुलमर्ग, 22 अप्रैल 2025 पहलगाम. इन हमलों के आतंकियों ने यहीं से प्रशिक्षण लिया था. सैयदना बिलाल कैंप मुजफ्फराबाद, यह एक जैश ए मोहम्मद का स्टेजिंग एरिया है. यह हथियार, विस्फोटक और जंगल सर्वाइवल ट्रेनिंग का केंद्र भी था. गुलपुर कैंप कोटली, यह LOC से 30 किलोमीटर दूर था. लश्कर तौयबा का बेस था जो रजौरी पुंछ में सक्रिय था. 20 अप्रैल 2023 को पुंछ में और 9 जून 2024 को तीर्थ यात्रियों के बस हमले में यहीं से आतंकी को ट्रेन किया गया था. बरनाला कैंप बिंबर, यह LOC से 9 किलोमीटर दूर है. यहां पर हथियार हैंडलिंग, IED व जंगल सर्वाइवल का प्रशिक्षण केंद्र था. अब्बास कैंप कोटली, यह LOC से 13 किलोमीटर दूर है. लश्कर तौयबा का फिदाइन यहां तैयार होता था. इसकी कैपेसिटी 15 टेररिस्ट को ट्रेन करने की थी. अब मैं पाकिस्तान के अंदर के टारगेट से अवगत कराना चाहूंगी. पहला, सर्जल कैंप सियालकोट, यह अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा से 6 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर है, सांबा कटवा के सामने. मार्च 2025 में जम्मू एंड कश्मीर पुलिस के 4 जवानों को की जो हत्या की गई थी, उन आतंकवादियों को इसी जगह पर ट्रेन किया गया था. दूसरा, महमूना जाया कैंप सियालकोट, यह 18 से 12 किलोमीटर IB से दूर था. हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन का बहुत बड़ा कैंप था. यह कठुआ जम्मू क्षेत्र में आतंक फैलाने का नियंत्रण केंद्र था. पठानकोट एयरफोर्स बेस पर किया गया हमला भी इसी कैंप से प्लान और डायरेक्ट किया गया था. मरकज ताइबा मुरीद के, यह IB से 18 से 25 किलोमीटर दूरी पर है. 2008 के मुंबई हमले के आतंकी भी यहीं से प्रशिक्षित हुए थे. अजमल कसब व डेविड हेडली भी यहां ट्रेन हुए थे.
आगे दूसरा आया. टारगेट 10 हुआ है इसमें भी. टारगेट 10 हुआ, एंक्लोजर सेम ही है. 7 इट इज हिट द टारगेट. हाँ हाँ. आ गया सर. इम्पैक्ट. ओके.
मरकज सुभान अल्लाह भावलपुर ये इंटरनेशनल बाउंड्री से 100 किलोमीटर दूर है. जैश ए मोहम्मद का मुख्यालय था. यहाँ पर रिक्रूटमेंट, ट्रेनिंग व इंडॉक्ट्रिनेशन का केंद्र भी था. शीर्ष आतंकी अक्सर यहाँ आते थे. मैं आप सबको बताना चाहती हूँ कि किसी भी सैन्य ठिकाने का निशाना नहीं बनाया गया और अभी तक किसी तरह की नागरिक क्षति की रिपोर्ट नहीं है. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.
The strike on the terror camps were undertaken through precision capability, as shown to you. A niche technology weapons with careful selection of warheads was ensured so that there will be no collateral damage. The point of impact in each of the target was a specific building or a group of buildings. All the targets were neutralized with clinical efficiency, and the results reiterate the professionalism of the Indian Armed Forces in the planning and execution of their operations. No military establishments were targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in its response. However, it must be said that the Indian Armed Forces are fully prepared to respond to Pakistani misadventures, if any, that will escalate this situation. Jai Hind, and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends in the media, I ask your indulgence today in view of the fact that this is still an evolving situation. We will therefore not be able to take questions and answers today, but we will come back for more updates and more briefings shortly. Thank you all very much for joining us this morning. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Right, that was the press briefing by the Foreign Secretary Mistry, just ended by two officers from the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force carried out that briefing. Now the moot point, what was said by India. Now it is very clear that India has said that it has exercised its right to self-defense. That is what Foreign Secretary Mistry has said, clarifying India's position why this strike was carried out. Now basically it is now made clear that India has exercised its right to self-defense, and the operation was a bid to end terror infrastructure in Pakistan. Operation Sindur has been described as India's right to self-defense. It is also said that the TRF, which claimed responsibility for the April 22 massacre in Pahalgam, was an LET front and took LET front, about which India has already informed the global community earlier. And it has also been said by the Foreign Secretary that what is also of course known to everybody, that Pak is safe haven for global terrorists from all around the world. Pakistan is a safe haven. And they said that this strike inside Pakistan was necessary because there were specific inputs that the terrorists were planning further attacks against India. There were specific intelligence reports to that, and it said that India exercised its right, therefore, to preempt and defend its sovereignty. That is what and India's response was calibrated, non-escalatory in nature, and it was made clear that 9 terror camps were hit and destroyed, and the farthest was in Bahawalpur, which is 100 kilometers from the LOC, and there were credible intelligence reports were there before attacking these installations, and locations were specifically and carefully selected to avoid civilian casualties, and it has been made clear by India that no Pakistani military targets were attacked. Colonel Dibya Bhattacharjee, your comments on the press briefing.
The Foreign Secretary has made it very clear that this strike was done under India's right to defend itself, and also to deter further attacks. The aim was that the attackers, the backers, the financial planners, and also shadow groups or fronts which may be there, they were the targets and not the Pakistani people or Pakistani population. Secondly, it was a very measured attack which was very specific and non-escalatory in nature. The third aspect as far as this press briefing was concerned is that it was seen that for each of the 9 targets which were selected, the reason was also given as to why these targets were selected.
Right.
So this shows that the Indian planners had specifically gone through the entire thing and decided, carefully selected the targets and what India's response would be.
Absolutely, carefully selected targets. If I have General Nishikanta Singh, you heard the Foreign Secretary briefing the press conference, briefing reporters, and you also heard the 2 armed forces officers talking in details. Now, India has made it very clear that the operation was an exercise of India's right to self-defense, right to defend itself, and it was an attempt to bid to end terror infrastructure in Pakistan. And it was also made clear that there were specific intelligence reports that the terrorists and the Pakistani backers were planning further attacks on India. Now, how do you look, what is your first comments on India's stand being officially made clear now by the Foreign Secretary?
I will say that India has a right to respond to any enemy action within the Indian soil. And India was very mature that it was very, very proportionate. And the best part is that there was no military target. It was all terrorist infrastructure. We are aware that Pakistan will try to mislead the international community. It will try to divert from this issue that India is trying to harass them. But the reality is that they have been using terrorism as a tool for achieving their foreign policy objective. Hence, what we have done is absolutely appropriate. And in fact, we could have done it much earlier. Pakistan will continue with this use of terrorism till the time they are adequately punished. And this is the first punishment which they have really received. And now we have to wait for the Pakistani, if they want, Pakistani can cool down the issues by not retaliating. But this may not really happen that way, because Pakistan would want some sort of a face saving. When I say face saving, they would like some sort of a foreign instructions warning Pakistan not to do it, or other is that they will try to mislead the country, they will try to mislead the world by saying that we have done the Pakistanis have done a good strike back on India. That is the way which they will try to do it. But let us hope and wait for, let us see how do they respond to us.
Okay, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah is speaking. Let's listen into him.
मरकज़ी हुकूमत ने कहा था कि इसका हम जवाब दे देंगे और अपने तरीके से दे देंगे। जवाब देने का तरीका यही था कि पाकिस्तान में कोई सिविलियन या कोई मिलिट्री जगह नहीं, सिर्फ वो जगह जो सब लोग जानते हैं, वहाँ यही इदारे काम करते हैं जिन्होंने पिछले 30-35 साल जम्मू कश्मीर में तबाही और बर्बादी फैलाई है, उन्हें निशाना बनाया गया, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं। लेकिन उसके बाद लगातार कुछ इलाकों में जो पार के तरफ से बमबारी की गई, उसमें तो सीधा सीधा हमारे सिविलियन जो हैं वो टारगेट हुए। शुरुआत वहाँ से हुई, शुरुआत यहाँ से नहीं हुई। अगर पहलगाम में लोगों को इस तरह मारा नहीं गया होता, ये दिन नहीं आता, हम बड़े आराम से रह रहे थे। यहाँ जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदरूनी हालात भी ठीक थे, टूरिज्म का दबदबाव चल रहा था, LOC पे सीज़ फायर जो है वो कायम था, LOC के सीज़ फायर को कोई नुकसान नहीं, लेकिन ये हमारे बने हुए हालात नहीं हैं। हमने पहलगाम में जो हुआ उसका हमें एक जवाब देना था, लेकिन अब पाकिस्तान तक है कि वो इसको कितना उछालना चाहते हैं। हम में से कोई जंग नहीं चाहता, हम लोग जो खासकर जम्मू कश्मीर में रहते हैं, क्योंकि अक्सर बेशतर हमने देखा है, चाहे वो इससे पहले जो वार हुए हों या करगिल हुआ हो, वो कहीं ना कहीं जम्मू कश्मीर को ही हिट कर जाता है। हम तो चाहेंगे कि हालात जो है वो दोबारा ठीक बने, लेकिन उसके लिए पहले हमारे जो पड़ोसी मुल्क हैं उनको अपनी बंदूकें शांत करनी होंगी, यहाँ से फिर बंदूक चलेगी नहीं।
क्योंकि यहाँ से सुनने में आता है यहाँ एक प्लेन भी पामपुर में भी क्रैश हुआ था इस साइड का।
मैं अब ये जानकारी जो है आपको एयरफोर्स से लेनी होगी। मुझे नहीं लगता है कि हम में से किसी को इस पर कोई तबसरा करना चाहिए। ऑफिशियली इस पर इंडियन एयरफोर्स या इंडियन डिफेंस एस्टैब्लिशमेंट की तरफ से जो है बात आ जाएगी।
अब चूंकि ये तो शुरू हो गया, जो हमने टंगदार में रिपोर्ट्स हमारे पास आ रही है, नुकसान जो उन लोगों को जो काफ़ी क्लोज बॉर्डर्स में रहते हैं, तो किस तरह की आपसे
मैंने अभी तो कुछ देर पहले तमाम जो हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर्स हैं, DCs हैं, बॉर्डर और LOC के नज़दीक, कठुआ से लेके बारामूला कुपवारा तक, मैंने सबसे वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग पे बात की। यहाँ तक के DC पुंछ भी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस में शामिल हो सका, हालांकि वहाँ पे अभी भी उनके घर के नज़दीक जो है शेलिंग चल रही है। उन सब से बात करके मैंने हालात का जो है जायज़ा लिया है। कुछ जगहों पे नुकसान की खबरें आ रही हैं, लेकिन उनको हम अभी जो है हम उन रिपोर्ट्स को जमा कर रहे हैं। फ़िलहाल एक कंटिजेंसी फ़ंड के तौर पे मैंने कुछ पैसे जो हैं DCs को रिलीज़ किए हैं, तमाम DCs को, लेकिन बिलखसूस जो LOC और बॉर्डर के नज़दीक है उनको थोड़ा ज़्यादा, ताकि कोई भी।
Okay, that was Umar Abdullah, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, speaking, basically saying that the whole thing was started by Pakistan, otherwise we would not have to see this day. He said that the root of the present configuration was the steadily attack in Pahalgam, where 26 innocent civilian tourists were killed. Bhaskar Chiti Mohanto, the former Director General of Assam Police, is back with us. The Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri has just had the press briefing. Bhaskar Mohanto said that India exercised its right to defend itself, and it was a bid to end terror infrastructure in Pakistan. And the Foreign Secretary also said that there were credible intelligence inputs that the terrorists and their handlers in Pakistan were planning more attacks on India, and therefore India exercised its right to preempt and defend its sovereignty and defend its own people. What are your thoughts on this official stand made clear by the Indian government on Operation Sindur?
Absolutely. Mr. Mishri has delineated the entire concept in a very, very clear and understandable way, which was followed by 2 women personnel, senior officers of Army and the Air Force. Yes, India has the right to respond because it all along, since 1987, after 71 war, let's say, 87, except for 87 when the big build-up had taken place under General Sindur. Except for that time, India has never taken any proactive stand in, heightening tensions along the border. It is only Pakistan, again and again and again. In 1991, Mirza Aslam Beg, Zarba Bowman, he started this strike of the faithful, and he has started this absolutely menacing kind of a organization of his manpower, armed manpower along the LOC, and they almost came into war-like situation with India.
Yeah.
And thereafter, even after the Parakram, when the parliament was attacked, and then India has obviously organized a lot of troops here and there, but then they had sent a message talking about for nuclear attack first They had threatened India time and again, and they have been bleeding India into thousands cuts, as was stated by General Huttu way back. And this has been this policy of bleeding India into thousand cuts being
Absolutely.
carried out time and again by successive generals, and more so by the present army chief, basically because they want to deflect the situation, the disharmony that is taking place in Pakistan, the kind of attack they are facing from Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan in the border of Afghanistan, and as well as in Balochistan. The BLA has been making them absolutely miserable. Well, post the Zafar Express attack, where 44 people were killed, whole lot of army personnel were killed. In fact, yesterday, 7 army personnel were killed in a bomb blast at Balochistan. BLA has been bleeding Pakistan like anything, and Pakistani army is in a very bad shape. They are very unpopular because they have been amassing a lot of wealth among the senior officers, and they are, organizing corporates among themselves.
Bhaskar Mahanta, all these things are going to impact on the Pakistan side as India has intensified its response to the Pahalgam terror attack on all fronts. It has struck diplomatically, it has hit its water resources, and now it has hit the terror dens in Pakistan. 9 of the terror camps have been completely annihilated, and now the international community is largely with India. And today, after Operation Sindur, Foreign External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said that the international community should have zero tolerance to terror, and so far we have not seen any pro-Pakistan support as such, except from Turkey, of course, and China, of course, has responded very, very diplomatically, saying that they regretted the action inside Pakistan, but perhaps the Chinese response was not what Pakistan would have expected. I'll go for a short break. After this break, on the other side, the news continues.
You are watching Northeast Live, the region's largest English and Hindi news network.
এইখন ৱালত কিমান ডেম্প আছে ভাই, পিলাৰতো ফ্ৰেকচাৰ আছে।
কিন্তু মইতো নামৱালা চিমেণ্ট ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছিলো,
কিন্তু তাৰ দ্বাৰা কোনো কাম নহ'ল।
চিমেণ্ট মাত্ৰ নামৱালা হ'লে ঘৰ হৰৰ ষ্টৰী হৈ যাব পাৰে, সেয়ে লৈ আহক কামৱালা চিমেণ্ট। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্টৰ ছুপাৰ ফাইন তথা হাই কম্প্ৰেছিভ ষ্ট্ৰেংথে কৰি তোলে ঘৰৰ প্ৰতিটো কোণেই মজবুত। ব্লেক টাইগাৰ চিমেণ্ট, কমাল কা কাম, টাইগাৰ হে নাম।
AI Parijat, AI Nikki, and AI Bholuka are coming to your doorstep.